It's Edge Radio Australia. How you doing? Malloy with you. And we are doing the Greater Wealth thing here. We have the amazing Derek Whittaker over there, mate. Good to see you all the way over there. You normally sit beside me.
I know we mixed it up today. You know what I mean?
You crazy kid.
You know why?
Why?
You weren't here last week. I'm feeling, maybe it was my BO or something like that.
No, I clarified to everybody. He showers regularly. We've been to his house. No, hang on. And normally but this would be the occasion where I pull the Mickey out of you. But, mate, you're on camera. You're doing it for everyone. Yeah, on your own. So, yes, it is Travis Carter, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the show.
Yay. Welcome, Travis.
Can you feel the enthusiasm?
Hi.
Now, Travis, I've turned your mic on this time, okay? Special occasion for you. Normally I wait.
I can see the red light on the mute.
No, it's not you.
That's the other mic.
Hey, we're here to talk about all sorts of things about the Greater Wealth. Now, Derek, we started talking off camera a little bit, but we've got a few bloody good subjects to talk about today.
It's a bit of a mixed bag.
It is. Right now it's the Whitman sampler of financial
Did you
advice.
say the Whitlam sampler?
Well, it's not financial advice.
No, I see. Thank you.
I just want to say that outright.
Sorry.
It's factual information.
Okay.
We cannot give you general specific
Look, I shouldn't give you any advice, particularly
Please see a licensed financial
advice.
planner.
No. Okay, go see a financial planner. Yeah, exactly. Please stop that. Okay.
So a friend printed this shirt. So
It's
for
a
the
great
people
shirt.
who are watching online,
Yeah.
the Edge Radio Australia Facebook page,
Yep.
YouTube channels. Have you actually changed the name on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, we've been waiting ages. It hasn't had the change of life just yet, but
Anyway, so they can see this awesome For Your Health shirt, thanks to Reese.
it is nice. Very, very cool.
It's a business idea right there.
Reese is running it. It sold like hotcakes. It was
Yeah,
actually,
they would
I
sell.
gave it to quite a few people as a Christmas.
Oh,
gift.
did you?
Mm.
And just actually, side note on that, for those who are interested, we will get to you, mate. I promise. I know the show is about you, but guess what? We've got some Edge merchandise coming our way really shortly. So we'll have T-shirts and shirts and goodies and all sorts of stuff. So you can walk around and
Just waiting for the shirts to get delivered, and then we'll get them printed up, and they'll be looking snazzy.
snazzy indeed. So, look, you can walk around as a walking, talking advertisement for us, and we really appreciate that.
And we
Good
won't
luck.
pay you a cent for it.
No,
You can pay us for the privilege of having our shirt.
That's right.
I just like how you're upfront about that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's
Hey,
good.
honestly,
Transparency.
This is what this station's about.
on
Is being
authenticity.
It's true.
truthful, transparent, pissing people off, and being
Yeah.
on the edge of everything.
And that's
Hey.
what the market's wanting. It's that transparency and authenticity.
Because we're sick of
Yeah.
fake. We are so sick of Look, the reality is
Channel
buy a
7.
T-shirt, keeps the lights on. Simple as that. Okay, that's really what it comes
it's
down
funny
to.
you should say that, because one of our
Hmm.
topics we're covering today is the Australia Post Bank, and that was actually brought to us by one of our Patreons. So
Oh, very, very cool.
Later shows we'll put the Patreon link on. I've got to change it out of my name into the Edge Radio.
If you could hurry with these things. Oh,
effort. That's effort. I've got
every
to
single
log
week.
in, change the
Oh,
names,
no.
whatever.
It's
Anyway.
hard.
So yeah, Australian Post banking system.
Right. That sounds like a
sounds
single
weird, doesn't
shooter in the US, but okay.
Yeah, actually,
Yes.
yeah, it does. It does.
Disgruntled postal worker. I like it. All right, fine.
Talking about US shootings, the funniest post I ever saw.
Oh,
I saw
shit,
this
what a
lady.
segue.
Hang on. We are
quick. This
5
is really
minutes
funny.
in.
This is really funny. So she said,
I'll
my
go to
kids,
lunch and come back.
my, my
and then you
kids
should
are
be
starting
ready.
school in America, and what's the best piece of advice you can give? And the first comment was, wait for the reloads before moving.
Oh.
Now that
So
is
let's talk about
dark.
money, mate. Let's talk about money. Let's talk
That's
about
not
matters that would.
So, Travis, what
Right.
is this postal system you want
All
to
right,
talk about?
so there's
What's it about?
there's a political party in Australia called the Citizens Party. Obviously, they're pissed off with the banking sector, the Royal Commission.
Pissed off, is that a technical term? Or?
Oh, they're livid. A lot of people are actually really angry over it. They want to see a better system. So they've actually drafted a bill. They don't have a member of parliament yet, so I don't know how they're going to get the bill actually into parliament. So they'll have to do it as a citizens referendum, which we don't actually have in Australia yet. What it is, they want to turn the Australia Post into a bank.
Right. Well, it's pretty much there anyway.
Well, it's an
isn't it?
add-on, isn't it? It's,
No, no,
it's not
it's-
getting rid of the postal system completely.
So the postal system will still be there,
Yes.
but Australia Post will be a bank. So what happens is anywhere there's an Australian Post, you can go in, you can deposit your money in, you can take money out. It literally is a bank branch.
Okay.
Their reasoning behind it is, especially in regional areas, to
Yeah.
maximize profits because you don't have a lot of customers coming in and
Mhm,
out.
mhm.
A lot of the major banks, so ANZ, NAB, Westpac,
Yep.
and whatever the other one is.
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth, thank
Yeah.
you. They're shutting all the regional branches down so that they can maximize their profits for the shareholders.
Okay, I would go as far as to say I don't think they'll be for that because they want everybody to be online. I think that they
Yeah.
want, exactly. Say goodbye to cash.
So there's, I can understand why people would like this
Mhm.
because people still want to use cash.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, a lot of people don't realize this. Have you noticed how it's really hard to find an ATM in a wall these days? Because all the ATMs are being taken out.
That's right. Yep.
There's a massive push by the majors, big four banks
Sure.
I'm talking about here, not to have cash in society.
Mm.
Because you got to remember, for every, is it about 10-1 on the cash to actual what's on your books? So, for example, China, there's a lot of publicity about that one. So, in a bank, they only have to have 11 point something % of cash in hand. So, if they've got $1 billion worth of deposits from like customers, they only have to have about 10% of that in actual physical cash.
Gotcha.
So that
Okay.
they can pretend that they've got as much money as they want. They can just lend it out using the cash as collateral. So, the proposal that was put forward by the Citizens Party is saying that instead of being 11%,
Yep.
which is on other shows we've spoken about how unstable the Chinese market is at the moment, especially the banking sector, because they're so heavily leveraged,
Mhm.
they actually want to go lower than that, down to 10%.
Okay.
So straight away, I'm thinking,
Look, I'm already terrified. Like, because I mean, I would have naturally assumed it was a much higher number. It's in my mind, I would think that maybe maybe I'm just dreaming. Clearly, I am. I would think that you went into a bank and they'd have 50% of the holdings in there, right?
I don't think anyone actually knows.
No
what
one
the-
knows.
the
It's a big
Do
dark
you
secret.
know how much money a bank has to hold on hand?
Not offhand.
Yeah.
Not often.
So that's the first thing that jumped out at me.
Mm.
The other one is they wanted it to be controlled by the government.
That
So
always
this
works,
is
right?
another state-owned bank. So like the old RNI. So
no, RNI was no.
wasn't it RNI?
no,
Yes,
no,
I remember
no.
having one of those the alien accounts with the little weird
Yeah,
creatures as a
yeah.
kid and
No, that was Commonwealth, man.
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth was the
Yeah.
Commonwealth Bank. Duh.
But there you go. Well, the
Yeah.
RNI wasn't RNI just like a
Rural
subsidiary?
and industrial. So that was
Is that what it stood for?
yeah, rural and industrials bank.
I had no
Yeah.
idea as a kid. It was just RNI. And you
Yeah.
go drive into Perth and there's a big RNI building and that's RNI.
Yeah, and it used to say Bond on that building for those who can remember.
Oh, that
Good
shows
old
how old
Bondi.
you are.
Memory.
Oh man,
It's really funny because like I just turned 39 literally last week, and like I'm thinking, oh, I'm old, I've got grays in my beard, and then I was like, yeah,
thanks, mate.
yeah, 2 half centuries. Are you-
So
Did you
the
hit 50?
Rural and Industries Bank, which you want to refer to, Travis, right? I remember going in there as a child because they were bought out. They changed their name to Bankwest, and CBA bought them out.
I always remember
Some
as a
years
kid
ago.
pulling your cheeks as far apart as you could, and say Bank West. Right, and it comes out as Wank Best.
Thanks for that.
You're
okay,
welcome.
it's good that we've got at least one adult in the building. All right, okay, and it's not us.
Okay, so your questions on this model. Do you
Yeah.
like the idea?
No, personally, no. I'm
Okay.
a firm believer that there's too many assholes in the world.
Right.
There's too many, and I hate. Well, actually, I don't hate it. It's a great quote. Robin Scott, former One Nation MLC.
Mhm.
It was about the euthanasia bill.
Right.
Not kids in Asia, but the actual voluntary
Sure.
assisted dying.
Mm.
And he was saying, doesn't matter what the legislation is, you'll find one clever cookie that is going to abuse it.
Yes.
And reading from there was a video that they put out saying why it's so great and that and all the reasons behind it.
Mhm.
And straight away, I thought the first thing that came to my mind was this is the ABC of the banking sector. Like we're going to have a massively so-called non-biased bank.
Sure.
We're going to have a massively labor-controlled bank that's under the funds that's being funded by the Australian government. And you like at the moment now we've got a labor, especially in WA,
Sure.
labor controls the lower house and the upper house. They can pass any legislation they
That's
want.
right.
So if they turn around and go, you know what, all your money's mine,
They can do it.
there is absolutely nothing that we can stop that from happening.
I think we need to rewind just a little bit because most people don't understand that the monetary system is actually controlled by individual privatized banks, not government controlled entities. Reserve Bank of Australia is a privately owned bank as opposed to being a public.
Yeah, and
so-
that to
so
me,
that's-
I don't understand that. That's an interesting point because
Yeah.
I didn't. I always assumed that the Reserve Bank was literally a government agency.
Yeah, so most people don't understand that. The other issue is, of course, then you've got that level of banking, and then you've got the retail banking, which is what most people are familiar with
Sure.
in terms of the 4 banks and that sort of stuff, and how it filters down to them. So it's a credit-based system. I think the intent is really good. They want to change the banking system and all that. I think it needs. It's been this way for so long. and there's a bit of disruption that's happening in that industry, which I think is making a few bankers nervous because they don't like disruption. They don't like.
No.
They've got a great system going, but I think the intent of this project and proposal is good. I think the model, though, I don't know that the train has arrived in the station, and I think what the difficulty is most people don't understand banking anyway. So to rally and go, oh, we want a citizens referendum on this, trying to explain it to the masses is very, very difficult. So it has to be simplified somehow.
Yeah.
Well, the
some
old
of the
saying,
mistakes
it's your
taken
safest
out.
money in the bank is the greatest bit of bullshit ever said. I mean, let's face it.
If you just have
It's
a look
not
at-
safe in the bank. Simple
if
as
you
that.
have got your money in the bank and you're getting like 1%, but your inflation 6%, like you're losing 5% of your money every year.
Not just that, the bank has
Right.
power to freeze accounts
Mm.
and this sort of thing. So
For sure.
yeah,
So it's I don't know. It to me, the moment I read it, I had alarm bells going off in my head, in my guts. I was just like, yeah, this.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Can I throw an
there's
alternative
so
forward?
many things that were abusable.
As someone who knows very little about this, right? But let me throw something forward. Okay, then wouldn't it be better as a proposal to maybe look at legislation that forces major banks to have use the Australia Post as an agency, so you could still do your banking like you can in a country town where you go through that way? Because a lot of places you can go and use Westpac or Aussie
my
Post.
understanding is you can already go into Australia Post to deposit, but because they're not an actual bank branch, let's say you're applying for a loan or something like that,
Sure.
it's all the more the financial side of things.
God,
that
they
you
look
can't
at those
use.
as the agency. I remember going to a pharmacy and they had a little agency on the side. You could
Yeah.
just do your basic ATM, glorified ATM
Yeah.
So-
transactions.
Like
but
you can go down to Woolworths and get cash out. Like you don't actually need to go into a branch to get your cash out. You just go.
Yeah,
over
but
the
only
counter.
they'll only give you $50.
No, they're supposed to give you more. Like obviously, if you want to take $10,000 cash out, they're not going to do it
Yeah.
because they do have that much sort of cash on hand.
Well, I
but
think
they don't have it in
I
tills.
think I've used this example before on the show, but I mean, I had a friend who bought a car, and the rigmarole of buying, because she's an older lady and she wanted to pay in cash because she had the money, so she knew what it was, and the car was effectively $20,000. It was a nightmare, absolute nightmare, trying to pay cash, and we tried to talk her out of it, and we had to get all paperwork from the bank. We had to get permission. It was crazy. They had to hold the car for 24 hours. So cash, you think cash, it's immediate and whatever.
No, not in the car yards.
No,
Car yards
literally.
hate cash with a
Yeah,
passion.
it was a nightmare, as I say, to hand over that $20,000. But hey, she's an older lady.
I
She
used
felt
to
comfortable.
work for AHG as a finance manager, so I was
Gotcha.
the person actually receipting the money, and we've turned customers away because we flat out said no, we're not accepting cash.
Yeah.
So we'll accept.
You're not
like,
accepting cash for my pimped out black, 300
no,
seat.
like, let's say you come in and you want to do $1,000 deposit. Yeah,
Yeah.
no worries.
Yeah.
We'll accept that sort of cash. If you come in and say, right, I've got $50,000 to buy, a brand new car. It's like,
Sure.
no, sorry, take the cash down to the bank, get it turned into a bank check, and bring
Yep.
it back.
And the flip side of this, which to me is a little bit disturbing because it's borrowed money effectively, is I have several times in my life purchased cars on my credit card. That's
Oh,
crazy.
Do you know the fees on that?
Hey,
Oh, it's
no,
huge. Yeah,
no,
it's about
no, no,
10%.
no, 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 no. Back in those days when life was better for me, it meant I was paying literally 3.99%, and it was quick and it was easy and it was done.
Oh,
It
no,
was-
no, no. The transaction fee.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
car yards get nailed.
Oh, yeah, but that's
it's
not my
quite
problem.
funny. Yeah.
In the nicest possible way. So no, it was ridiculous that you can walk in with a card and effectively buy that car on credit. Everyone buys cars on credit, don't get me wrong, but on a plastic card, and it's instantaneous, and you've got the car and you take the car away straight away. But you walk in with cash, and they're like, "Whoa, no."
Like, there's too much legislation.
The
around cash.
interesting thing about this too is you've got to think about what are the functions of a bank. So obviously you're getting cash in and out. That's been the traditional role. The second part is lending.
Yep.
The third part, excuse me, international wires. You've got to think of that as well, and helping business transact as well.
Yep.
So because obviously they've segmented those areas very, very much. And of course, then there's the investment portfolio of banks as well. They
Okay.
like to dabble in the markets. They like to do different various investments. So the money they do have on reserve and that sort of stuff does amplify. So can this model that is being proposed function and do those sort of things? That's what you've got to look in and dive in more.
Okay.
But there's also this. They may be able to do different services that disrupt, that do it better, basically. I don't mean to say disrupt. They do it better. I think disruption's got to come from various other sources, and it's basically how the governments interact with the banks.
Sure.
That's got to be relooked, because what we have is a system on the fiat system, which is a credit-based system. And I think that's really, there's a lot of talk going around at the moment about going back to gold-backed standard type transactions and dealings. And that would be a major disruption if that were to come about.
One of the things that I I'd love to see a more trustworthy banking system or a company that's more trustworthy.
Mm.
To me, the ABC of the finance industry just isn't it for me. This is a personal belief on this one.
I understand exactly what you're saying here.
Do most of my banking at the moment through credit unions.
Sure.
My wife used to work at the education department, so we've got a lot of teachers mutual
Mm-hmm.
accounts at the moment. They're by far better than what the big
So whatever
fours
happened
were.
to the old Teachers Credit Society? What happened to them? What did they
I
become?
think they call themselves the Teachers Mutual Bank now.
Okay,
so-
I thought they were bought out by another bank.
Possibly. So what's happened is there's Bendigo Bank is another one.
Mhm.
United
and
Credit was
Nurses.
one. Police and Nurses another one. So there's all these other. I think too many people at the moment in Australia still bank with the big four.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
you want to see change and reform, one or two people aren't really going to make that much of a difference. So everyone as a whole, as a collective, has to start turning around saying, like, if you don't like the big four banks, stop banking with them.
That's right.
Like, it's
That's
as
right.
simple as that. Like, it's. I don't think
There is-
legislating it is the answer.
There is that, Travis, but the other flip side of that is convenience, right? The big four banks have provided more ATMs around the place. So if you want to go to get quick cash, it's just more convenient to go, oh, that one's over there.
Oh, try and find a Bendigo Bank
as
one. Yeah,
opposed
that's the
to
problem.
trying to find
Yeah,
the
yeah.
lesser known ones. You've got to go out of your way to do that.
Well,
Or
then get-
pre-plan more.
I know some of the credit unions actually have deals with the big four banks that the customer does not cop a fee for using other ATMs.
Yeah, that's a good setup.
That's not an argument on this one. So
I get that.
there's nothing to say that you have to use the big four banks.
I get exactly what you're saying, but also to the point that Derek made. Like, I've got a friend who's got an account that literally they have an ATM card, but there's no ATMs in Western Australia,
Mm.
right? So you literally cannot get cash in Western Australia. You can only
Well,
get
you can
transfer.
because you have to go down to Woolworths and get cash out over the counter.
No,
or
they're
when you go
not
shopping.
affiliated. that
Okay,
way.
the other side-
yeah,
the other
that's
side
how
of
it
that
works.
too is I used to do a lot of business trips, right? Knowing you go into a new town, you know where the ATMs are and that sort of stuff. You know, at least if you are with the big four, you're going to come across one eventually,
Mm.
right?
Yep.
Whereas with the more ones that
Niche. Yeah.
Again-
this is the problem. The niche ones are hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So again, with that, making sure you've got the bank account that allows you to use the big fours without a Visa transaction.
Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah, I'll take
that's again, that's a non-issue. So
But most
the
people
way-
don't know that, Travis.
Yeah,
and that's
so-
the issue.
And this is where education is more important than actually changing legislation.
Do you know
If
what?
people are
We
more
should do
aware-
an education show here. Wouldn't that be a great idea?
Wow, why didn't we do that?
Hey, what are you doing on that? What date is it, folks?
22nd.
Let me scratch my head. 22nd. What are we doing, boys?
It is what is it called, Derek? I keep forgetting. There's so many words in the title.
You don't like that? How to fund your life purpose, understanding techniques the wealthy use.
See, that works for me. Rolls off the tongue. His,
of
not mine.
course.
But
Hey, it's the 4-word titles. Like, come on, 4-word titles for me.
It's
But,
I want a real how-to. I
yeah,
really want to know. I want to show the difference between what the wealthy are doing and what those who aren't
education is the key.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There are some very big significant things that they do that most people don't or don't know that you can do.
Oh, look, like something we've been saying so much, over the last 2 years, 2.5 years, through everything that's been going on, is knowledge is power. It can't be any more accurate than that. Let's face it. And having that education, having that knowledge can give you great power to live your best life and to chase those dreams that you want to chase, whether they be a luxury sports car or just laying on the beach with your feet up. Who cares?
So if you do want to attend and listen to Derek for an hour, just talking absolute pearls of wisdom, the Eventbrite will be up on the Edge Radio Facebook page, the
Cool.
website. We'll actually get the little flippy thingy advertising thing changed
Sexy.
over to it. And so, yeah, please do book because tickets are not limited and all the proceeds raised will actually help to keep the lights on.
I've done this presentation to business owners as well, and they absolutely love it. So
Hang on. We haven't even talked about the price of the tickets. The cheapest chips, right? Literally.
It's $47.
$47. Come on, really?
Right.
If you're not willing to invest $47 in your future, then that's let's face it, that's a steak meal, right?
you're absolutely right. This is what one of you've hit a pearler there. Do you know what your values are? Do you know how, do you know,
Beer.
do you know how to
Yeah, gut like that is beer.
The question should be more, do you know how to identify someone else's values?
Oh, I like to think I can, but I think yeah.
Two
it's easy.
very
Food and
significant
beer.
things. Two things. What you spend your time on,
Yep.
and what you spend your money on.
Right.
They're an indication of what your values are.
Who you spend your time with.
Yeah.
That's why I avoid you at all costs. All right, with that, a quick break. Oh, very chilled out. We're getting Portishead here. It's Edge Radio Australia. What time is it? It is 20 after 1.
Time to hit the mute button. All right, ladies and gents.
No, I hear the music in the background, though, Travis. You don't hear that.
No, it says shut the door. Oh, excuse me.
Dude, that should be turned down anyway. Don't do that. Just literally turn the dial down. We should have done that before. That's a big effect. It's better. That works.
Oh. Let's see if I'm
Dude,
not
you
going
just shut the door, didn't you?
What door?
What did you do?
I turned the speakers down.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gents, can you hear us? And remind me, I have to switch the mics back over.
So what next topic do you want to do? Do you want to do that one more?
I
Or
want to do the German one.
the German?
Yeah.
Have you read the article?
No, of course not.
I haven't read.
We'll have a blind, what is it? The blind reaction to the article.
Germany agrees on gas relief package for business consumers. Sum of 64.7 billion.
Oh,
Just should come forward. I
Russian economic war. Hey?
don't think it's really addressing the problem, but you know.
Actually, I really do like this one. Russia is no longer a reliable source of energy. Olaf Scholz.
Okay, so we're going into Russia afterwards, boys?
Yeah. $64.7 billion. So where are they buying the gas from now?
Well, they're trying to stockpile. Businesses are trying to stockpile. And that's what's not clear. What they're doing
Price
is
cap on
they're
electricity.
they're just reducing taxes on it.
Mm.
Right.
So pretty much what they tried to do with fuel prices in Australia. But it's funny because Obama, I think it was 2008, said the dropping the fuel excise is a stupid idea, and then Biden did it.
Is that right? I don't think he ever.
Berlin previously cut taxes on gas and like it's sponsored.
All right, how much longer we got?
Oh, I see what you've done there. Okay.
Huh?
It's all right.
In the where? Sideways.
We've got heaps of time. Literally 4.5 minutes.
Really?
Mhm.
Why
We're
so
on 2
long?
songs.
2 songs?
Yes, 2 songs.
Too far.
2 songs. There's a guy called 2 Chainz. Busy with 2 gold chains when he sings. Woo, woo, woo.
More than
You know
half.
what's really funny? Twitch has actually cut my stream.
But there was no music. So why did they cut you?
An error occurred. Wait a moment and try again. Is my Twitch on?
Get you twitching.
No, Twitch is on. I think Taz is watching. Where's my phone? I haven't signed into
4
Twitch
minutes.
for ages.
But why can I still hear it out there?
At where?
On the speakers out there.
Because the speakers are still on.
I thought you said you turned them off.
No, I turned them down.
Now, in a perfect world, we want them off, but I suppose it doesn't really matter because speakers, these
No,
mics,
I'm live.
these mics are very, very direct, so that's good. I just don't want
Boop,
them
boop.
setting off that mic.
No, it's so quiet. That one won't pick it up. Let's see. Wave to Twitch. Hey, Twitch.
Hang on. We don't love this.
Well, I've got 11 followers on Twitch. Woot, woot.
$11. double digits, dude.
Let's see if I send myself a comment.
Life is going to be a lot easier in, what, 6 days?
Oh, it'll be so
Not
much
bad.
easier once Facebook just
30-day
actually
ban on
accepts
Facebook.
our
I got a 30-day ban on Facebook
It's gonna be so much easier.
for
once
sharing
Facebook-
something on Channel 9 News.
Oh.
How could you?
I know.
What were you thinking?
Yeah, see, it's coming
It
through.
was Channel 9 actually publishing the real figures on COVID,
Mhm.
right?
Oh, don't tell me you got banned for putting COVID figures up
Yes, I did.
from Channel 9.
From Channel 9.
I wonder if Channel 9 got banned. You know how funny that'd be?
There's misinformation apparently, and I've been warned for long enough. So yeah,
And you know who funds the misinformation?
for Channel 9.
No, Facebook.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's Facebook.
Okay.
So for those listening live online at edgeradioaustralia.com, Gautier.
You can actually, oh yes, because you can hear it. Yes. Good
I
to
can hear it through my right ear, not my left.
Really?
Yeah, because that's my left ear when I was a mixer, a DJ.
Gary.
I am,
No.
but you love it.
No.
No, actually, that's something I
But
should
I'm
check to
curious.
see.
It's okay. Don't want it said. No, bit dangerous. We'll talk about that later. Bit dangerous at all. It's okay. Fair enough. Remember when Like literally, we had free speech. Remember that? Yeah. I had a really interesting thing. I might even say this on air actually, as far as like Big
Good
Brother.
news, we can't hear the music. So
Okay. Big Brother, how Big Brother's ridiculous, right? Okay. Monica and I were driving along the other day in my car. Okay. And
you got your phone there?
no.
I found something really cool. I want to try it on your phone.
Let's stop there somewhere. Anyway, we're just talking. Normal conversation. And then the phone just goes, I'm here for you, Aaron. Like, what the hell was that? You know?
Was it Alexa or Siri?
Well, I've got a Samsung, so whoever that is.
It's probably Alexa.
Oh, she had a hot voice, I'll give her that. But
I always love talking to Siri and calling her Alexa. And she's like, I am Siri, but Alexa is a nice person.
oh, really? I just want to know why my phone felt I needed a counselling session while we were driving along.
My kids wanted me to ask Siri if she had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
No, does she date?
Does she date?
Yeah, and apparently she says, you know, she says, I do
Hey
want-
Siri, do you date?
No thanks.
Oh,
If there's anything else I can help you with, let me know.
What is 0 divided by 0? What is 0 divided by 0?
If nothing is divided by nothing, then there's nothing to divide or divide it with, and the division never happened. So my answer is no.
Ah! She used to like really rip into you. Imagine you've got 0 friends and you
10
divide
seconds.
0 cookies. Cookie Monster is sad because you've got no friends. All right, I'm switching over to the main ones
Well,
again.
It's 27 after 1. How you doing? It is Edge Radio Australia. We've got Derek Whittaker over there and, of course, Travis Carter. And what's the show that we're doing, boys? It's called, it's called,
Greater wealth.
I just love the way you say it, mate. I tell you what, you nail it. You really do.
Thanks.
Now, we've been talking about the big issues during the break, while you were off, you're doing whatever you're doing, dancing to those funky little tunes. They're not very dancey, but, you're doing your thing. We were talking about the big issues like we were asking Suri strange questions,
0 divided by 0. You have 0 friends. You have 0 cookies. Siri is sad because she's got no.
Travis, I'm your friend. I can pretend.
And Cookie
anyway.
Monster is sad because he's got no cookies.
Oh, dear.
No, literally, that's what she used
I
to
know.
say. then they
Suri has
changed
got
it.
some issues, but what was the one that used to make him make the fox? What does the fox sound like? Remember that one?
That's my kid's favorite song.
What does the fox say?
What does the fox say?
Yeah.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah,
And
there
we
we
just
go.
got copyrighted.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Now, enough of foxes, enough of Suri. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about some really cool subjects right now. And I'm going to straight to you, Derek, mate. Hit us.
There's some interesting stuff going on in Europe, and
Yep.
the seasons are changing over here on the west side. Spring's happening.
The west
it's getting
side.
warmer on the west side. I went to the
Throwing
country
games.
last week.
Did you eat a lot of peaches?
No,
Okay.
but the canola is out. It's
looks
all
beautiful.
Gold everywhere, green fields, and the dams are full. It's just absolutely gorgeous in the country
Seriously.
right
You were in York area, right?
now.
No,
No, I
just
went down to the wheat belt.
Oh, right.
Katanning Way.
Okay, there you go. When you said the canola, I just figured you were heading out that way, but there you go.
Well, that's
There
the
you
thing, like, especially with WA, if you're going out to, like, you can head any direction inland, and eventually you'll start getting to the canola fields.
Good point.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah,
and it's
very true.
beautiful. Here's the thing, though. Europe is heading into, the United States calls it fall, into autumn,
Oh, the
right?
Autumn. Oh,
Fall.
oh, fall.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, hang
So-
on. I forgot.
What's happening is that it's getting colder,
Yeah.
and big
And
concern-
winter over there is not like winter here.
No. Like minus 20 degrees Celsius in Helsinki and that sort of stuff. Although Helsinki's not quite affected by this, but it gets cold. And this is the thing. Germany is concerned about this because they're having an energy crisis. Since, of course, the sanctions have gone with Russia, there has been, they're cutting off the Nord Stream. So there's a big pipe that goes from Russia into Germany, providing natural gas for them to cook and heat their homes and all this sort of stuff. And Russia's turned the gas off and said, okay, fine, you're going to sanction us. Winter's coming.
Yep.
And of course, there is a lack of gas around. Of course, the price skyrockets and people are very concerned. It's gotten so bad to a point where I was reading that there are malls or shopping malls that are not operating the escalators.
You
during-
scared me there. I thought you said moles. I thought you were getting all Would you even know who Kylie Mole is?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Does anyone? He wouldn't.
Look of blankness.
You
A
wouldn't.
lank of blankness. A look
She
of
goes,
blankness.
just goes.
Yeah, she just goes. She goes. She just goes.
I'm guessing she's
Well,
got a mole.
chewing gum.
No, mate.
No,
Yeah.
okay.
No.
Yeah.
We're going to educate you
I thought
later.
that was Cindy
Okay.
Lawford.
Classic Australian
Not-
comedy.
Mate. Yes, comedy. Yeah, before it was illegal. Go on.
I made the mistake of turning on ABC the other day, and they had this comedian on it, and it was terrible. It's like, what the hell is this crap? So
Dude, stop it now. All right.
it was-
We're talking about cold hard bitches. We're talking about cold hard winters right now and energy in Europe. All right.
wow.
So, of course, scarcity means
Yes.
the price goes right up through the roof.
Supply and
Okay.
demand, baby.
So, what do they do? So, the German government has said, look, we cannot rely on Russia for a reliable source of natural gas right now.
Yep.
We're going to do all these subsidizings as to the tune of $65 billion.
Whoa.
Dollars.
Okay.
Just
So-
a little bit of money. Just
Just a bit of coin. But to me, it's a band-aid fix because it's
Okay.
it's kind of like what the Australian government, as you've highlighted during the break, Travis, has done in terms of petrol prices. We're not going to tax it as heavily.
Yep.
We're going to give you a bit of a breathing space.
Sure.
So this just comes back down
But
to
Doesn't affect it. Doesn't solve the issue of supply.
No,
Yeah.
no.
so
Exactly right. You still need it stuff.
I'm done putting my political hat on here. So our glorious leader, Pauline Hanson for One Nation, has been screaming at the government for a long time that we need to have our 90 days of fuel reserves.
Yes.
At one point,
remember
we were
that.
down to 21 days of diesel. So it's actually legislated that we have to have 90 days of fuel supplies
Mhm.
because, as we've seen in Germany at the moment, one war or one, argy-bargy between two countries, and they go, no, you're done.
And here's the crazy thing: Biden sold off the U.S. petrol reserves to China.
Yeah, but okay, don't use Biden as an example. Because clearly,
The Biden.
he's a man with a sharp intellect. Okay, he's a very he is ready to rock and roll. That
Now, I
man.
have to ask.
Oh, he's one of the great scholars of the 21st century.
knowing how bad he is.
Sorry, one of the great scholars of the 18th century. He's that freaking old. Never mind.
knowing how bad he is
Mm,
mentally. Do
Mm.
you reckon he's joined his son with a crack pipe?
Oh, I don't know. I have an image of him. You know when Pelosi was like tasting the ice cream, right?
You know,
Okay.
she used to
I
be
could
a
literally see
oil
him.
girl.
What?
Pelosi, like that's not her real name. Her dad owned, I think it's Mobile Oil Company or something. So she used to like get up in her bikinis and used to take photos with all the car racers.
That's horrible.
Oh,
That
no,
is
it's
so
random.
horrible.
I found that out the other day. I was like, oh
Do
my
you know
god,
what?
that's crazy.
Do you know how shocked I am? I'm as shocked as she is constantly with that Botox face. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think she's found in 20 years. Right. But
What,
we
her
need to
eyebrows?
talk. She's got on Ronald McDonald eyebrows. Seriously, look like the Golden Arches. Anyway, so we need reserves, obviously, right? And we're
Yeah.
supply and demand. And ultimately, it is a band-aid fix, to take the excise off. Absolutely, right? Excise is just a nice way of saying tax. Let's be very frank. But okay, you do need that band-aid fix for otherwise inflation goes through the roof and all that sort of thing. So I see exactly what you're saying. But ultimately, when the band-aid's ripped off, okay, I mean, all that hair's coming with it because the fact of the matter is they still need gas. They still need all these products. So
Absolutely. It's
That's-
not-
Where's the
people
gas
are pushing this political agenda of climate change. They're not considering, first of all, the water's not ready to go to what they're proposing. They have, 245,000 people got to freeze to death this winter in Europe because they can't have these
Agenda
resources.
21. Who cares? We want
Oh.
95% people to die, so it's okay. Just let them freeze.
oh,
Yeah.
Sarcasm, by the way, everyone.
Absolutely. So this is a big concern. There's a very simple fix with all of this. Very simple fix.
aliens? What?
America start producing oil again.
Yes,
right?
it
And
is that
sell
simple.
Sell
It
it
is-
to Germany.
Yep.
Sell it to England.
Yeah.
They're big buyers, and winter's coming.
Mhm.
They are. You've got businesses in Germany right now who are stockpiling and trying to get their hands on this stuff so they can keep.
You have just said that though, right? Now the US could fix this problem. Well, we know that,
Yep.
okay? And there's other countries that could fix this problem. But fundamentally, we're talking about the big players here.
Yep.
Okay, they could fix this problem. But they are so caught up in this green agenda, okay, this rubbish that currently right now in California, they are rationing. They're asking people not to charge their electric vehicles because the grid is not strong enough to take. So they've pushed more than anyone to get rid of oil, okay, to get rid of fossil fuels, all going to carry on, right? They've pushed so hard, but the infrastructure can't take it. So people are literally stuck at home because they can't drive their, $100,000 Teslas.
I watched a very, very interesting video yesterday, and I hate to say it, we're in the market to buy another car, and we were actually
Mhm.
kind of tempted to look at a hybrid, not pure electric, but a
Yeah,
hybrid
yeah,
like a
yeah.
Prius or something. We need something like stupid cheap on fuel. Morally, I just will not touch an electric vehicle. It was showing us how they get all the materials.
Oh, the lithium.
I think it's cobalt, or not the lithium, but another one that's inside the batteries
Yep.
and where they get it from.
Yep.
That shit is toxic as hell.
Child labor too.
Child
It's as simple
labour.
as that.
What they're doing, and it used to be Tesla and another company, I think it was GM, used to use non-child slaves to mine it. And now what they do, they go through another company
Sure.
who then buys it through slave labor.
Yep.
So it's just like there's no way in hell I'm ever going
But
to buy an electric
let's
vehicle.
talk really dollars and cents here and reality, right? This is the reality, and also if you're protecting the environment, and I love the environment. I mean, I'm a tree guy, but here
A
is
shirt like that, you definitely are.
thanks, man. The reality is this though, right? For environmental impact, right? One of those ugly, vile Priuses, right? Environmentally is equivalent to 4 Corollas of the same type. That's a fact, right?
And where they get the materials for it, they just big hole in the ground. Like,
That's
stuff
right. That's right.
It's
So,
so bad for
yeah.
the environment. So
There are
it's
so many
absolutely-
better alternatives out there, right? And you know what? Free enterprise will find those because, quite frankly, people want to make money, right? So it's forcing businesses to do this is not the way around it. Promoting innovation is the way to do it, right? And if you're going to push all of these people out, ultimately, until there's a better alternative, fossil fuels is the go.
Not
right?
just that, but if the United States started selling oil and producing oil again, it reduces inflation.
Yes, exactly
It would solve
right.
its own
I'm
problems
just going to
by
jump in
doing so.
here because we've had our good friend Peter jump onto the stream.
G'day, Pete.
Great show. Awesome. Love it, Pete. So again, ladies and gents watching online and on the show, if you do want to interact with us directly, we do stream onto Facebook and YouTube. You can send us comments. We'll answer them during the show. Also, if you want to get the music list updated to some of your favorites, make sure you put them in the chat and we'll make sure we add them to our, what do they call it, the
Absolutely.
rotation.
Yes, the rotation.
And if you
Absolutely.
are a creator of your own content, like you are a muso, make sure you send us your samples and your LPs, or what do they call
Which
them?
we had a
EPs?
few lately. Yeah,
Yes.
we have a few EPs coming through.
So
Really
make
cool
sure
stuff.
You email them to us at info@edgeradioaustralia.com. We've now got our new email address up and running.
Absolutely. And
Aaron
would
still
love to-
doesn't know how to log into it, but we'll work on
We
that.
will work on that. Okay. So I still have to call him. Excuse me, Travis. If you can tell me where's the any key, we'll be fine. No, you're helping me through. But you are the. Let's be honest. You might be our IT guy, but you are the slowest mofo in the face of the earth. Honestly, every week, do we have to not push him? Yes, we do. Right?
It's good to see there's something on Eventbrite.
That's right. That's right. Yes, he's telling me I'm number one, just out of shot. I'm quite sure.
It's good that it's off camera.
All right, we're taking a break, boys. We're coming back very soon because I was thinking, because I like to match the songs obviously with our conversation, and I'm thinking about how Europe's going to be very, very soon. So I've
Have
chosen
you
this
got a
song.
song called Fisted?
No, I don't. It is 22 to 2. I feel like Richie Benno right now. And it's Edge Radio Australia.
What was the other thing?
All
you
right,
put
we're
in the
now
title?
live on this one.
What was the other thing
Right.
you put in the title that we covered?
I don't know. I can't remember.
No, you said something.
Where's Word? Here we go.
Post banking, power electric vehicles.
And we don't know. I took
We
it out.
covered that. We covered
Yeah.
that. Okay, cool.
Oh wow! Oh, how on earth do you say that? Tui Kui
Hey, Toey.
Tui.
Bunbury.
We've got listeners in Bunbury, Aaron.
Hey, g'day, Bunbury.
I always thought, for ages as a kid, I used to call it Bunbury, like bury your bum. But I still am a kid. But
He's
anyway.
not a smart man.
So now, Toey, if you do have any topics that you want us to cover, let us know. We'll make sure we put it in. But yeah, this has been actually a lot of fun. So the numbers are coming up, which is awesome.
It certainly is.
There's so many that we're working on at the moment. I don't know. I still think we kept going with this fuel. Oh no, the how about the job? They were dribbling shit about jobs.
Oh, and easy.
Job summit. You know when you get that mental blank and you just totally forget
Sorry, what is it? Job.
the Job Summit.
What's that about? I don't know.
Haven't you heard of it? I
No.
thought I sent it to you.
No, you don't send me. You don't send me one thing.
Again, he does it in his head, and therefore he thinks it's done. Ah,
What is that?
It's the Job Summit. There, right there. See the news. As much as I hate to say, like, check out the ABC, they're actually half decent with political news. So pretty much, to give you a brief summary, not enough workers in Australia. So the political leaders and union bosses, so apparently 25% of the people that rocked up to that were all union bosses, all got together to have a chin wag about jobs. So as you can see how many people are there, all government taxpayer funded. And they dribbled and dribbled and talked and nothing happened. So
You know why? Because there's too many people.
Yep.
Nothing will get
well,
done.
how many people are there, you reckon?
A lot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good to see they're not socially distancing. So roughly 8 people per row. Let's say 10 per row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So about 150 people plus.
Okay, so nothing came of it.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. Except they want to. There is no gender pay gap. What the hell? Anyway, how long we got, Aaron?
we have 4 minutes, we'll call it.
Ran non on air. So obviously we've got this one. It's live.
Mhm.
So it's going to Facebook people. In corporate finance, is there actually a gender pay gap?
I don't know. I've never really looked into it. I think to me it comes down to real simple stuff. It's the value that presents to the marketplace is what you're rewarded.
Do you guys
No.
actually even give a rat's ass about people's genders?
We don't give it. Well, it's like Shaq does a show in the United States, right? And they're always going on about race.
Yeah.
Okay, and the race gap between that, and it's like it doesn't matter what race and how much, if they're all equally represented. It's can you do the job?
Yes,
That's what we're all looking
that's
at.
all it comes down to.
Yeah, can you do the job and can you do it really, really well?
I couldn't give a damn the person's colour or their bloody
Exactly.
ethnicity or whatever. You know what? Are they qualified?
Especially when you're dealing with like tens of millions of dollars.
Oh, exactly.
And we see that the extreme of this in South Africa, right? When it came out of apartheid, they wanted to put a lot of people in equal standing in different jobs, and companies had to rehaul everything to do that, right? To the point where very highly qualified people couldn't get work anymore, so they left.
Yep.
Which is a brain drain on the country and skilled labour.
Yeah, of course it is. Of
You
course
know,
it is.
It's
you
just
know
the
what
wrong
I
way to
really
approach
want to
it.
listen, who I want to talk to?
What's that?
Like, I think we should go get a female sewage waste pumper, or like just think of the scummiest jobs that you can think of, and we'll
Right.
see if we can get a female that actually does that job.
Yeah, well, they're out there. You just got to find them. They do exist.
Do they?
Well, so Mr. Albanese tells me. So.
Yeah. I've never seen one. I've never met one. And I actually know a guy who owns a sewage waste management company.
Of course you do.
Ray's absolute legend.
Oh, right.
Ray. He just cannot get workers full stop. He's like, I don't care. I just need workers. Like,
Mate, it's a problem across everywhere. I mean, I'm hearing that. I'm talking to a lot of farmers at the moment, as you know.
Yeah.
And we've had this discussion, so they just can't get working.
Everyone, there's ads on the bench when you go in there. You know, on the counter. That's what I'm saying.
time?
1 minute and 38 seconds.
1 minute 38.
So we're coming back with what?
The Job Summit.
Oh, it's a very simple, easy way to fix that.
Just bring back wolves.
Hey?
Bring back wolves. Work for Food and Board.
Oh,
There's that, but there's also other easy ways.
So that's the easiest one I can think of, especially for helping farmers, because farmers are really struggling because there's multiple fold things to that one. But we'll go to that once we actually go to air,
let's do that.
because I think that's going to be a really, really good one. And this is talking from experience with Mum's truffle farm.
Well, I'm going to interrupt just while it's in my head too. You and I need to chat later on, and we'll power up this box. So inside we'll put a power board and holes in it, whatever, so that you can plug and play on this. Right, just while it's in my head. Right, good conversation. There we have it. Works for me. All right, next one. We're on in 30 seconds.
I'm already on the couch though.
Don't you have to turn something on?
Yeah, I know. I'm giving you the shits first because it's too much fun.
You're such You're a freaking child.
Yes.
Oh,
And it's only taking you this long to work it out?
no, it has not. It took me about. But no, it took me a while.
Really?
Yeah. You pretended to be a serious man. For the first bit of
It was a serious conversation we were having when we first met. All right, give me a
All right.
5-second count.
5 seconds. Hang on. Okay. Ready?
All right, switching.
It's Edge Radio Australia, edgeradioaustralia.com. That's where you'll find us on the old, I was going to say the dial. There's no dial. Okay. You know, you got a little touchy thing, right? You type it in, whatever you need to do, you press those buttons. Exactly. Oh, what do I have to put up with? Here's a picture. You idiot. I've got Travis Carter to my left. Yeah, speaking of idiots, thank you. Thank you for the segue there, mate. I really appreciate that. And stepping up dramatically, Derek Whittaker over there. Oh dear. All right, okay. Well, it just went from the Daewoo to the Tesla. Right? No, please don't be a Tesla, mate. Don't be a Tesla. Okay, seriously. It is Edge Radio Australia, and we are doing the Greater Wealth. That's the name of this show, and we're talking about ways basically to find your little freedom in life to do your life purpose. Now, gentlemen, hit me. Oh dear.
So you got to remember, Australia was effectively built on the farming industry.
Absolutely.
Back of the sheep back, isn't it?
Literally off the back of a sheep. They
Yep.
used to shave the sheep, and then they'd put it into big bales and send it all around the world. And that's when we still manufactured things. It was awesome. And everyone had jobs, and the life was great, and no one had food, though. No. So what's happened is over the last pretty much most of my lifetime, so 39, I'm still a young chicken, I've gradually seen more and more things stop being produced in Australia and sent to overseas. A lot of the farms, rather than being like little small farms, they've been joined into big, massive farms.
Sure.
And so at the moment, especially with the skill shortage, lack of labor, most farmers, and I'm talking from mum's personal experience here,
Yep.
is you've got to pay people seasonally to do a lot of work.
Of course you do.
And the problem is they used to have a program in Australia where to get a visa to stay in Australia, you had to work regionally for like 6 to 12 months. I can't
Oh,
remember the
really?
time. Yeah.
I didn't know that. There you
Yeah.
go.
So what was happening is a lot of people, especially from Korea, Koreans loved this. They thought it was amazing. A lot of Chinese people and a lot of Japanese people did this as well.
Okay.
So they used to come over during harvest seasons or any time that the seasonal work was up for available. Because if you're just in there cleaning up a farm or mending fences, stuff like that, like you don't exactly need engineers for that sort of stuff. So
No.
a lot of the tourists, especially from Southeast Asia, used to come to Australia and do a working holiday.
Sure.
So first of all, as a wolf, they used to call it the wolf or wolf's program.
Okay.
So you didn't pay for your board.
Yep.
You didn't pay for your food. You did 2 or 3 days worth of work, and then you were able to travel through the regional WA as
Right.
much as you want. So it wasn't allowed to be done actually in the metro area; it had to be in the regional area. So
Okay.
Mum's farm was down in Denmark,
Yep.
so that's about 5 hours from
Oh,
Perth.
I thought it was
So
in Europe.
it
Wow,
just
okay.
worked amazingly. So got the fences fixed, the farm was well maintained, and it just worked really, really well.
Yeah.
And the thing that's really important about that is all these people, even though they're working in Australia,
Mm.
they were bringing a lot of currency with them. They were bringing a lot of money into the
Okay.
state with them. And then under the genius of Mark McGowan, they decided to stop it.
Well, you've
And
said
now
the
we have a
genius
skill
name.
shortage
Yeah.
in the farming industry.
Yeah,
So
okay.
things like that are really, really important to bring back. Now, what has happened last week, we had the Jobs Summit. So
Yes.
instead of
The
doing something,
Jobs Junket, I believe, actually, but there you go.
so one of the things that came out of the Job Summit was a lot of talk,
Mhm.
a lot of dribble.
Mhm.
I'm just looking at one of the photos here. There was about 150 people giving their feedback.
Okay.
And from what I've been told, about 25% of those 150 people were all union representatives who are massively pro-Labor supporters.
Okay.
So again, you got to remember this thing was practically totally
Not
funded
Labor
by-
supporters, Labor fund. You know,
Well, they're
Labor
the
funded.
directors of the
Yeah,
Labor
yeah,
Party.
and vice versa. Yeah.
So most of this was actually funded by and paid for by Australian taxpayers.
Sure.
So huge expense, especially for the amount of people in there.
Mhm.
Free lunch.
Free lunch.
Mhm.
By the sounds of it, actually multiple free lunches and dinners because it was over a couple of days. And so far, I think the only conclusion they've come to is that they need more discussions.
Yeah, well, that's important. Okay, so is that the old like I've got a mug at home? Okay,
Yes.
yeah, is that are we in another meeting that could have been an email, right? Like honestly,
I don't want to get my brother into trouble for this one. He sent me a picture, and
I think you should stop now. But okay,
you know when you're like running races at school
Mhm.
and you get a place and you get a little ribbon as
Yes.
first place. It had a whole heap of these little ribbons that said, "Congratulations, this meeting could have been an email."
Beautiful.
And so apparently, I won't say the company he works for. So they had one of these meetings. So he quickly raced to the back door, and as everyone was leaving, he was handing out these ribbons to everyone. So I thought it was quite
Oh, look, they're very good at having meetings, right? And I look, junkets, right? Junkets, as simple as that, right? They feed up on top quality food and alcohol, and away you go, and all that sort of thing. Everyone pats themselves on the back, and nothing gets achieved.
And if you elbow, you go get a massage afterwards.
That's
Well,
right.
3 easy fixes.
Don't have the meeting.
What was working beforehand, right? Pre-COVID.
Yes, yes.
So it's really it's staring you in the face.
Oh,
I hate to state the obvious. Lift the mandates off vaccines.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Make it wrong to discriminate to someone who has been vaccinated and not vaccinated, right?
Mhm.
Because a lot of companies are doing internal rulings now
Yep.
saying you can or can't. Lift that
A
discrimination.
lot of mining companies, especially in the Pilbara, are doing that.
okay.
Lift that, right? So then you got what? How much of the workforce back at work,
Mm.
right? Easy. Third, make Australia more attractive to get overseas people working here.
Yep, yep.
We
absolutely.
aren't the most attractive anymore. We've made it really, really hard.
We have. I mean,
and
we used to
people
be a
have gone elsewhere.
backpacker's dream. Let's face it. Yeah, and that looked after our farming sector big
Yeah.
time.
So again, it's going back to bringing people into Australia who
Mm.
want to do the working holiday thing,
Sure.
because it's just so hard. Like, and most of the jobs that are severely lacking aren't highly qualified jobs. They're the general shit kicker labor sort of jobs. And
Nothing
that's
wrong with
what
bloody
we're
hard
lacking.
work, mate. Absolutely. You know,
It's
that's it.
hard work,
Yeah.
but it's not skilled work.
No.
So we definitely want the skilled migrants coming in, but why should we? Because the big push at the moment is what they're talking about is lifting the cap on immigration, so all the dregs of society can come over and be shit kickers.
Okay.
My first concern is especially so. Let's look at the New Zealand situation here. So in Australia, on your migration visas, if you get convicted of a violent offence,
Yep.
you get deported immediately.
Okay.
So the Australian Appeals Tribunal when Dutton was the
Yeah.
immigration minister,
Yep.
in 1 year he sent over 2,000 people back to New Zealand. Something like 90% of them all got overturned by the Australian Appeals Tribunal. And then
Wow.
New Zealand cracked the shits out of us for sending back their criminals.
Yeah. You know what? Keep your rubbish, right?
Yeah.
As simple as that.
So I think I
goes
think we
to any
still
country.
need to have a strict migration policy
Sure.
on who comes to the country. We
Yep.
want to make it focus on who's going to bring benefit to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who are like running from the law and stuff like that and have a criminal history the length of your arm,
Sure.
sorry, you can stay home.
Yep.
So
yep.
I think we need to be
But
very
I think-
choosy, but we still.
Well,
need to
I
make
agree,
it
but I think
easy.
a lot of this COVID stuff has really crept into so many different aspects, right? Where and it's a case of they say all mandates are lifted and that kind of thing, but they've changed the rules on so many things here. Now, I actually had to, I won't go into what it was, but I had to do something on the weekend. I had to do some paperwork, right, for something that's got
You
nothing.
can write.
I can write. Yes, actually, I typed with both fingers. Anyway, typed away. And what I'm going to get at here was a simple thing that I've done for 30 years, something I've been involved with. Now, this particular organization want to know everything about me, my medical history, all that sort of thing. They're
You're
breaking.
Screwed.
It's damn rude, right? Breaking,
No, not rude. Screwed.
screwed.
Because I know what you're talking about. There's no way, knowing your medical history, there's no way in hell they don't let you in.
Anyway, well, something I used to do 30 years ago, and I used to do for a while, a long time, and used to do for a living back in the day. Yes, okay, competition license, right? Racing cars, right? Now they want to know my medical history to a degree. Now I've had medicals, I'm not going to carry on and pass them all, so that was a while ago. But now how intrusive it is was disgusting. It was next level, right? And this was all these COVID questions, and they were literally breaching the 1988 privacy laws, right? That were put there to stop discrimination.
Oh, I love this one.
So, and what I'm getting at is from a financial term. I'm not trying to take it to social terms, but okay,
Privacy laws don't mean shit in WA.
yeah, well, okay, but this is a national organisation, right?
Doesn't matter. You're in WA.
No. Federal always overrides state, mate.
Always.
Yes, it does.
We've just found that out. So I'll explain it in a minute. But you,
Right.
you keep going.
Okay. My point is, when it comes to we're talking about money here. We're talking about finances, all that sort of thing. Now, the problem is where I'm going on this is like the most fundamental thing about so many parts of our lives and the power of our own freedom. You go for a job now, okay, and they want everything. You know, it's a massive intrusion into your life. You know?
Government's just too involved.
Yeah,
we need to get
it's
the
got to
government out.
stop.
The simple thing is, like, especially with the skilled workers coming into Australia, whether it's shit kickers on a farm, laborers, accountants for financial companies, things like that. It's getting to the point where it's too hard to actually get workers. There's too much government interference. What's superannuation now up to, like 12% or something? I know where the one that's my wife works, it was nearly pushing 13.5%.
Right.
So that's just another tax on top of everything else that the government, that the employer has to pay to everyone else.
Payroll tax
So-
is the most ridiculous.
Oh,
thing.
it
Payroll
really
tax,
is. Absolutely.
there's-
Punishing people for providing employment and keeping them off welfare.
Yeah.
Really smart.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
and yet when we try to abolish payroll tax in WA,
Mhm.
the government fought tooth and nail to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, of course they do.
Like, instead of being able to totally
And
abolish
look,
it,
I
they
think
raise it.
to wind this all around, I mean, I think this is fundamentally what this show is all about. This is about trying to give people that financial freedom, right? Okay, to look at money in a different way and look at your life purpose in a different way.
Great
And
segue to the live event.
thank you very much, right? It's to create that freedom, right? Because ultimately, I don't know about you guys out there in the world, but I'll tell you right now, freedom is absolutely fundamental to who I am. Okay, and when people tell me what to do, it makes me push back.
Now,
so having an event like this, which will give me the education, okay, it's not advice, it's education to teach me how to invest properly, how to, to basically make my money work for me. This is a great thing, mate. I'm I'm bloody excited about it. Okay. And and understand, okay, I'm the guy who didn't line up at school. Okay. I don't like education. It's not my thing. Very boring for me. I'm looking forward to educate me. Okay.
I'm looking forward to having it. It's on
gonna be great.
Thursday, the 22nd of September. So that's not far away. And we'll be holding that at 6 p.m. Australian Western Standard Time. So basically the time that most people are off work, hopefully. It's
Hopefully
called,
we'll have our app by then. So people, if they are stuck in traffic, they can hit the button and listen live.
well, it's on a
Nice.
Zoom.
Radio.
This one's going to be a Zoom meeting.
Yes.
So how to fund your life purpose, understanding techniques the wealthy use. I love how to. I'm very pragmatic. So what is it that I can pragmatically do? Theory is one thing. How can I put it in
Yep,
practice?
yeah.
What are some of the
Theory
things
is
that the wealthy
great,
do?
but if you put it into practice, it's meaningless, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a
And
lot of people who do this education stuff and it never put into action. And that's a problem. But as you
Photo,
learn
by the way.
more, hey,
Great photo, by the way.
thank you. Yeah, so we're going to be doing that, and that's going to be really, really great. And it's only $47 for a
Nothing.
ticket.
Cheap as chips, right?
That's not even a carton of like Jack Daniels and Coke. I think they're $90-something now.
It's a-
Oh, that's
you
one
can
for you
afford
and
to
the
come
missus.
twice for a
Yeah.
carton of Jackson Coke. There you go.
Yeah.
You could put it on replay for that. That's great. Watch it twice on 2 monitors. Look at this. You're an
Surround
idiot.
sound
You're an
all the
idiot.
way.
I would just say a carton of beer, mate, but okay, fine. You know,
I'm
you
pissed.
drink.
I don't drink beer, so
Jeez.
no, I don't enjoy throwing up.
Okay, really? Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so
It's 9 bottles of terrible wine. There you go. Done. Now,
just going back to what we were saying before about the privacy as well.
Yeah.
So when Luana was working at the education department,
sure.
they started asking all those questions beforehand, and we said no, we're not giving it to you.
Good on
Privacy laws, like you are actually, it's the third part of the Privacy Act.
Yep.
You're not allowed to ask it.
Yeah.
And so we actually took it through to the Privacy Commission, and they said, "Oh no, WA, anything to do with the government, the WA government is exempt from all federal privacy laws."
No, absolutely not true.
Yes,
I know, no, but I know what you're saying.
directly from the commissioner.
Yeah, who is actually breaking the law? That is the problem.
Well,
The
that's-
problem is right here in Western Australia. Good old wait a while, right? They seem to wait a while to actually follow the laws of this country. It's just happened in the family court. Let's
It's-
face all the changes there. Nothing's happened here.
Apparently,
That is the problem. No, I'm just going to talk over you for a second. The reality is this: in Western Australia, a fundamental problem we have about this wonderful state. And I love WA, right? A mate of mine who used to be on my rally team back in the days used to have an awesome T-shirt. It said, "There are 2 states to be in, WA and pissed," right? And I completely identify with that, right? Okay, beautiful.
Yes, Aaron is the outcome. No,
No,
that's
no,
not true.
It's
That's
a
not
joke.
true.
Okay. But my point is, I love WA. But one of the horrible things about WA is the fact that we literally do run ourselves like a separate country to the rest of
We're
Australia.
like 2 hours behind everyone else.
No. We are 22 hours ahead as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
Let's
yeah,
work
he'll
it
be
that way.
fine.
That's the
No.
way I'm working it. All right. Okay.
I'm
It's
sure we're
perspective,
behind.
mate. It's the way you look at it. Okay.
Well, we are upside down here.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, anyway, what you're saying is, quite frankly, our tribunal just,
Yeah.
quite frankly, ignoring the laws. And we've seen so
No,
much of that in WA.
I have checked it, and it's because the original 1901 Australian Constitution, WA wasn't a signatory of it.
Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it goes all the way back there. So New Zealand is, but not
Of
WA.
course. Of course.
So, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Like Kisbury. So,
All right. Now, I'm going to look at the old clock here.
yeah,
because
it's
we
time
have-
to wrap up.
Yes, I've
So
just noticed-
final
geez.
words from Derek.
Very quick, mate.
Can you give us a pearl of wisdom what might be covered on the 22nd.
Wow. All right. We talked about postal banking.
Yep.
The model there. We talked about gas shortages in Germany.
Yep.
And the final one, what did we talk about? Job shortages and all this sort of stuff.
Yep.
It says to me, one, get educated and start
Protect yourself.
protect yourself, but also, get into that mode of, a lot of people are spouting the word sovereignty at the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Get to that point where you're not reliant on an employer for work, for determining the way you go. You're able to generate your own wealth income is a really, really good place to be in. Now, it can be hard in the first few years in starting a business. I've been there. I've done it. It's tough. And it's a constant challenge in being in business.
Of course,
Boy,
it is.
the freedom it gives you,
Yeah.
I just love it. The fact that I can do that and come away and do shows like this and this
Yep.
sort of stuff, because I'm not having to ask my boss for permission to go away and do this sort of stuff. It's fantastic.
It's great being your own boss.
It really is. Now, I won't ask for any wisdom from you because let's face it, it's not really a possible thing.
It's
But-
a bit shocking when it does come, though.
Yeah, so I know. I'm still in shock. I might need therapy for that one. I want to thank you guys for being part of the show today, and I really enjoyed it and got a lot of great information. And I'm really looking forward to the 22nd, right?
22nd.
22nd.
What I'm really looking
Mhm.
forward to is heading up to 6030 to get a feed.
Hey, guess what tonight is, mate?
Isn't it curry night?
It's
tonight?
curry night.
I
It's curry
heard
night.
that.
Yeah, I love curry night.
So, yeah,
Um,
so if you're up that way, make sure you head over to the 6030 get a feed. It is absolutely insane.
It is, and it's $10. Like it's so cheap and so good. Like I'm the Vindaloo boy.
Yes, they are
I'm,
a sponsor of the station.
Yes, they are a sponsor station. Yeah, you and why? Because we were there so often eating the food that we've ended up that way. But we think, and Ian's an absolute legend, so a big part of the freedom community in Western Australia, and we love being supported by those guys and give that support back.
And if you want to listen to more politics at 5, we do have the 6-pack at 6-ish.
Can we
starting-
rename that because you're an
that's
idiot?
so funny. Like 6-pack at 6.
No, it's not funny. It's not funny. Okay, only to a 2-year-old,
It's
right?
like the full dad joke in a radio station. It's just classic, golden.
Well,
All right, let's do a poll. If you think we should change the name,
oh,
you know,
jeez.
leave a comment.
Mm.
Watch the show. Leave a comment. What
Yeah,
you think
okay.
the show should be called?
Right. Okay, that's a better idea. Can we
think
just name the
Shits and
show?
Giggles at 5.
Right. Okay. All right. We'll come up with something,
Shiz.
but we'll
If
leave
you
it to
can't
our
spell.
talented
You
people.
can't swear on Facebook apparently.
You can't?
Shiz,
All right.
S-H-I-Z.
We'll see if we've been thrown off Facebook this
No,
time
we
around.
already have, so that's fine. I can
Okay.
see the figures.
Right. I see it at the end, and it's actually there, so it'll be there in half an hour once they've cleared themselves up. Away we go. All right. I'm going to play a song because on the way out, that's kind of thing I do. But it's going to be.
Makes sense.
This might sort of sum up how I feel about the government and control, and the fact that this is why I want everyone to have financial freedom. Everyone, let's do this.
Money for nothing.
No, it is baby animals. Don't tell me what to do.
I can't hear this. It's radioaustralia.com.
When every day begins yesterday, when every light around you shines, you are the lover of a
2, 4.
I don't know how many were online. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back here at 5 this afternoon with the 6-pack at 6, which is actually at 5. I just think that's hilarious.
You're an idiot.
Anyway, so we'll be back doing politics. We're going to talk more about the jobs forum. There's actually quite a lot to cover on that one, as well as all sorts of things. There's an update on the Lee Tong case, the police murder. Sorry, I can't call that. The commissioner said it wasn't a murder. It was a following training. So there's an update on that one as well. So we've got Uncle Kenny coming in at 5. Anyway, guys, I'm going to pull the string down. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk soon.